Welcome to another episode of What Your Dad Didn't Teach You. It's the episode the community has been begging for, pleading. Some of them have made threats if this wasn't online soon. Because my guest today is the infamous TextGod head coach,
Justin Grunenthaler.
Fuck. And he even just says his full name because there's no shame.
None.
Zero. I like this episode a lot because we're going to talk about Justin's origin story. Justin used to be my student, and now he's the master. Not my master.
No, just another.
Just another master.
Yeah. And we're friends now too.
And we're friends. We're in Amsterdam in the TextGod office. We've just had the boot camp, which was the best episode ever. It was a blast.
Yeah, it was fun, eh?
My goodness. And you did some of your still first day game approaches because you've mastered the whole online dating thing, but real life is still a new adventure.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes I just get a little too lazy with the apps because it's so much fun and now it's easy, but we'll get to before when it was way more difficult.
When it was hard. Oh my God, I can't wait for this. I say we get straight into it. Mm-hmm. Where does the story start? Is it when you were 1 year old?
Straight out of the womb, actually. I got my first rejection, yeah. The doctor was like, no, this kid is going back in.
Yeah, I'll let you start because I don't really know your full... I know some stories and I think they're amazing. I can't wait for them. But where does it start?
Probably my worst dating or relationship experience happened right when I just graduated from high school.
Okay, so you're at 18?
Yes, 18, yeah.
Okay.
So, senior year of high school, I was seeing this one girl, and she was new. She had just came to that school, and I had also only been to that school for 2 years because I had just moved there as well for playing high-level soccer, but it's a side story. Okay. We met at the school dance, and I was just super fun and playful with her, and we just instantly hit it off. And then we just started seeing each other. The only thing, it was always a little bit rocky because at that time, I still wasn't very knowledgeable about relationships or dating or game, if we want to call it that, or social skills.
Yeah. Like most people, I guess, when you're 18.
Yeah.
Some are like just supernatural and they always get whoever. There's the few popular kids and then there's the rest. You were part of the rest.
I was the rest.
Yeah.
Like I was cool enough to hang out with some of the cool kids, but I was never the guy where they're like, oh yeah, let's invite Justin. It was like, oh cool, Justin's here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, at least you were there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. At least that was a pity invite.
Yeah. Okay. So
so we were just seeing each other for a few months. And we had never done anything super, let's say, intimate aside from making out. And that's why it always felt a little bit rocky. And just because I thought things should progress more. Like this is, again, months of seeing each other.
Okay. Is that months of making out?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I took her to my prom, senior prom. She was my date. But in that time period, right before prom, she got mono. Maybe for me, but I don't know. Sometimes you just catch it out there. And so she was really sick and like very low energy, if anyone's had mono. And so she still came to prom with me, but she came with an IV stand bag.
Yeah.
Which
that's cute.
Like awesome for her. Like I'm still super grateful for it. And it was fun. But obviously it's not she couldn't really dance and stuff like that. So that still put another hitch in our progress. And so after that, I graduate, we're still seeing each other. She starts getting better from the mono. And so we go to this house party with a bunch of mutual friends. But also at this point, I'm starting to get a little frustrated because I just don't know what's happening with us.
Yeah. What are we?
Yeah. Yeah. What are we?
And you have really intense feelings for her, I guess.
I would say, maybe I loved her, but obviously I think I'm too young even to really say that. But very intense feelings, absolutely. And so we went to this house party. Everyone was drinking except for her. I was a little bit as well. And at some point, she's like, you know what? I'm kind of tired. I'm going to go home. I'm like, okay, I'll walk you to your car. And there was just this like off kind of vibe as I was saying goodbye. And I go to like kiss her and she's like, no, not tonight.
And then your night's already fucking ruined.
Yeah, I was like, this sucks. Like this isn't going anywhere. What's happening?
Oh man, I know that feeling.
So I felt really shitty afterwards. Can I swear on here?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Now. Okay, cool.
Fuck yeah, bitch.
Fuck yeah.
Slay queen.
Slay
no,
queen.
that's not swearing.
To me, it is.
Okay. I keep forgetting you're a sensitive Christian boy.
I'm very PC, yeah.
Anyway.
So, man, because I was drinking as well, I was angry. Like I was just pissed off. I was frustrated with how everything was going or not progressing. And so there was this other girl at the party who I'd always tried to start something with as well, but she was never into it until I started seeing this girl. And then she's like, I want Justin now.
Yeah. Oh man, the good old you want what you can have, or you don't want something, but then you see that thing that you don't want is actually wanted by other things, and now you also want this thing that you didn't want.
So kind of toxic on her side, but that's a long time ago. So her and we just started making out because I was frustrated. She liked me. It happened. Which is also kind of weird because I wasn't official with this other girl, but we were seeing each other. So it's like, I don't know if it's cheating, but kind of. Anyway, what I did was wrong for sure. And so that got back to her friends who told her, and then that whole thing was finished.
So it got back to the girl
that I made out with this other girl.
Yeah. So your main girl that you've only kissed with and then was really sick, she heard, hey, you left the party and Justin was macking out with this other girl.
Yeah.
And then she ended it.
I tried everything to fix the situation.
What's everything?
Like calling her all the time, texting her, trying to restart or rekindle our dates. I guess one of my ideas was we'd do the same first date we had and start over. Never panned out. But she was pretty civil with everything. And so 2 weeks after that, we had still planned this camping trip with some of my other friends and, some of her friends and mutual friends. There was I don't know, maybe 10 of us going, maybe 8, something like that.
Like the whole group of friends.
Yeah. And so in that time period, I'm telling my friends that I want to get her back. I know I messed up, but I want to do everything that I can to try and win this girl back and start over.
Yeah.
And so we end up going on this camping trip, and there's drinks involved and everything. And, I'm just trying to play everything off as normal and civil. And I end up going to bed sort of early, like maybe 11 or 12. And fall asleep. But next day, everything seems good. We all go out to eat we went to Subway, of all places. And I'm still telling my friends, okay, I think that went okay. Like the interactions were good and everything. Maybe I'm making some progress of winning her back here.
Yeah. Hope.
Yeah. So basically another 2 weeks go by. I still haven't met up with this girl, but I'm still telling my friends and stuff.
Yeah. Daily updates.
I'm getting their opinion on things as well of how, do you think I could do something better here, or what else should I do?
What did they tell you then? Did they give good advice?
Not really. They said, they didn't really know what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's say around 2 weeks after this camping trip, I was at this party or something, and one of my friends came up to me and she It's like, hey, Justin, like I kind of need to talk to you about something. And so she pulls me aside and she's like, I know you want to get Sarah back. But like, just so you know, on the camping trip, she had this like foursome type thing with 2 of my friends and another girl.
My friends. Your friends.
My friends, yeah.
Not the girl
her
telling
friends.
it.
No. My friends that I was telling, hey, I want to win her back, and sharing my secrets and everything. And so they had this like foursome thing on the beach on the camping trip. And man, I felt so many different emotions. I was angry. I felt betrayed by my friends. Not even from before telling them everything that I was going through, but even after the fact, when I was continuing to say, I'm going to get her back, or, can you help me? And everybody knew, like even outside of my friend group, knew this whole foursome thing happened and that I was trying to get her back. So I felt like a huge loser, basically. Like I was the outcast of the social group.
Outcasted by your own friends.
Yeah. So I felt really betrayed by my friends. And also it hurt a lot because we had been seeing each other for months and nothing happened aside from, kissing. And then it's just one night, this like extreme sexual act. I also just felt, let's say, sexually incompetent at that time, or that I just wasn't worthy of intimacy with her. That's how it felt. So yeah, I kind of spiraled a little bit there. Really raged at my friends at that time. But yeah, I was just really, really hurt. And then after, I found out she basically hooked up with a lot more of my friends after that fact as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, fuck your friends.
It was like, I was like the only one who
hadn't been with her.
Yeah.
Man, fuck her, but fuck your friends.
Yeah. We're not friends anymore, really. But I mean, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then after, I don't know, I stayed single for quite some time. Eventually I would, meet someone and get into a relationship. But I think that scenario, or that thing that happened, really ramped up my trust issues, for quite a long time, and just my feelings of worthiness.
Yeah.
With women. And even I had, relationships, or I would see girls after that, and it was okay. And I was mostly good. Like I still had some charm, and women did like me to an extent. But it was always kind of just there in the background. Yeah. And that's my trauma origin story, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I can imagine that would have very massive effects and for a very long time. And I would assume more stuff has happened. There's probably other painful stories besides this one. That just add little extra modules of insecurities and...
Over time, yeah.
Yeah. But did you ever discuss all this stuff with a therapist or something, or really deep dive in and look
No. Even that story, there aren't many people who I've told it to. I mean, I've told it to you and Kenneth and Sergio.
Yeah. So for the listeners, that's other coaches that we have. Yeah.
And that's it. And now everyone who's going to listen to this.
Yeah.
So that's 6 billion people.
Yeah. Which I think is already a nice step.
Yeah.
To just, this is my story and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it bothers me anymore. It happened in the past. I'm over it.
Yeah. But how I see those things is like, I have really painful stories from the past too. Pretty much my whole youth romantically is one painful long story. Mm-hmm. and I have no trouble sharing it with everyone. Everyone is allowed to know. But I still think it's worth looking into all of that, whether it's with a therapist or you do some, let's say you could start with journaling or shadow work or whatever. Because you're fine telling it and you've moved on, but it's still, there's some deep beliefs deep down inside of you that I think you keep carrying with you from all of this. So yeah, that would be a little bit of advice from my side. Yeah, that's intense because, you know, when you hear a story like this, you know, your empathy flares up and you're like, oh man, that sucks. But if you would really take the time to imagine the whole story with yourself, you as a listener in that main character role, and really, really feel it, only then do you know how fucked up it is.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's like betrayal from the girl you love is betrayal from all your friends, is betrayal from pretty much everyone around. Everyone knows. No, you know what? That one girl that told you, she deserves a fucking trophy.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I thank you so much for that.
Yeah. Thank you. If you're listening,
Yeah.
send it to her. Yeah. Honestly, she ended that stupid tragedy that was already going on for way too long. Awesome. Okay. And then when in your story are you like, there's the inevitable point for, I guess, almost everyone that's listening to this, where you do your first Google search or something that's like how to...
Right. What do I do when a girl doesn't respond? I think that might have been one of my first ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when was that?
Oh, that would have been... How old was I then? Maybe 29, so 6 years ago.
Late.
Yeah. Well, because I had some relationships after that, and like I would always dabble a little bit in game or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I'd always get slightly good enough, and then I'd meet someone, and then we'd be in a relationship, and so I never really either fixed those issues or got really good at social skills.
Yeah.
I'd say.
That's, sorry to interrupt, that's one of these things that I learned from Coach Dan, the co-founder of TextGod. One of the most dangerous things is when you have some success.
Yeah.
When you're like somewhere in the middle. Because if you're good, you're good. If you're bad, it sucks so badly that you're going to fix things, and you probably have enough fuel in the tank, enough frustrations to get to good.
Yeah.
But when you're in the middle and you always have some relationship, it's not really your dream girl, but it's like, I guess, good enough, and you settle a bit. And then you could keep doing that for a lifetime. And then you die having experienced mediocre happiness or something. Yeah.
So how I got to that point, or how I eventually got to TextGod, was I was actually dating my dream girl. Well, let's say I thought at the time anyway. And she was lovely. We had a great relationship for the most part, aside from some extreme relationship issues, which I will keep private just to, respect her. Because we dated for a long time, like 3.5 years. And then I became single. And I didn't know what I was doing anymore. I also came out of the relationship with much more baggage. Super needy, extremely insecure, no confidence, no social skills, which was vastly different from how I was entering the relationship.
Yeah. Oh, one of those relationships where you just crumble down and break down over time, and then when it finally ends, you're like a mere shadow of what you used to be.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
The really interesting thing about that as well was I knew the relationship wasn't working, but I couldn't end it. I just didn't have it in me to end it. And she did eventually, and also thankful for her, or else we would have just kept going on this downward spiral. So at the end of that relationship, I was spent. I had no more emotional regulation or anything. But I was single again. And so I was like, okay, I guess after some healing, I decided to try dating again. And it was my first time on dating apps ever. I missed the whole golden years of Tinder where you could just throw up 6 car selfies and you'd have 600 matches.
Yeah. And sex.
And sex, yeah. So I just started throwing up some photos that I had, got a couple matches. I went on a couple dates, which were horrible. Like, I was so nervous. I remember my first one, we went for just a walk in a park and had a coffee. And I thought I was going to throw up because I was so nervous to be on a date again.
No longer we didn't really get into it, but no longer what I would assume to be football or soccer studs that got transferred to a school for cool reasons and then dated a girl who then got fucked by everyone. But still, that guy was probably pretty confident, and this guy is throwing up for a coffee.
Yeah. And the date went okay. At the end, I was like, can I kiss you?
And then she threw up.
Yeah. Well, she's like, yeah, okay, you can.
Oh.
And we kissed.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, it was nice.
What the hell?
What the hell?
Fuck. We watched too much brain rot. Focus.
Yeah. But then after, I was like texting her all the time, and I got angry at her for not texting me back after 2 hours at one point, and I thought we had a date and we didn't really. And so I totally blew up that whole thing. But
I have to pause here for a second.
Sure.
This is crazy. If you're listening, Justin's coach in our program, you get crazy good results with dating apps. You're super confident and at ease when you do a date. Stuff's just going well all the time. You know how to communicate. You know how to respect feelings, boundaries. And you know what? We'll do an episode with all your recent success stories and all. It's just fantastic. It's because I've never known you when you were like this. Like, I can't. Well, a little side info. We just had a boot camp here in Amsterdam. Pretty fucking awesome, by the way. 13 guys from all over the world flew here. We did a week of awesome work. Part of that work was a group therapy, 4 hours long. And you also shared something, and I remember from that you said, well, I really was that guy that would get mega insecure and all sorts of not okay ways if I wouldn't get a text back. And you would start double texting so quickly. And that's what you just said now again, like I would get angry.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
It's crazy to imagine because, the guys that get coached by you, they'd be like, what the hell? Like, Justin was that guy? That's just, that's not possible.
I was a hard case, I would say. Like, if I could look at myself as a coach now at that guy back then, I was like, this guy needs, he might not even make it.
Yeah, we usually do 12 weeks, but you're like, hey, how about 36 for you, boy?
Yeah, probably. Shoot, what were we saying?
Yeah, sorry for interrupting that. You were just saying that there was this girl, you asked if you could kiss her at the end, and you could, but then you got really angry at her for not texting back?
Yeah, because I thought we had a date and she didn't let me know, and then I got angry and she was just at a baseball game or something. She was just busy. That's it.
Yeah, so, game over, I guess.
Game over.
Fair enough. Good job on the girl.
Yep.
Fuck this guy.
I was not at her level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, continue to date and learn for, I don't know how long I did it on my own. 6 months maybe. And then classic, started Googling things. What do I do? How do I have a good conversation? How do I get a girl on a date? What do I do if a girl doesn't text back? All these sorts of things. Had a couple results come up. One of them is TextGod, or was TextGod. But at the time, I don't think you had the mentoring program yet.
Yeah, because
I just started reading articles and stuff here and there, some YouTube. But I did end up joining 2 other dating programs.
Interesting. Yeah. I only know of one.
One was not like a Facebook type thing. It was more like watch some videos and here's the info.
Yeah.
both, like, they had some slight good things, but whenever I would try to apply the things they were teaching or their mindsets or things like that, I would only get results with girls who I didn't really want. And it was like, what is the point of this? Like, way too sexual in your conversations, trying to be the super cool, dominant alpha male, typical red pill garbage. But I tried it because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I thought maybe this is what works.
How did they get to convince you? Because I know that more super take the lead, set the date as soon as possible, show her that you're a man coming to fuck or whatever. It's something along those lines. I know there's a lot of guys that would resonate with that and like, oh yeah, that's what I need. I need to be that guy. But that doesn't seem like you at all. So how did you end up joining anyway?
I think for me, I'm always a little bit more inclined to join something if I can see tangible examples of success. So what I would see from these groups or these coaches would be texting examples, almost never showing the girl or the woman, of course, and seeing the success that happened in those texting examples. But at the time, I didn't know better, because even when you're using those types of texting mindsets or methodology, yeah, you're going to get some results. Sure, you're going to hit a home run one every 50 matches. Absolutely. And then they can market that to their people. Like, yeah, this is the best way to text. This is how you get girls. But no, you've blown up 20 other of your conversations. But I just wasn't looking at that objectively, maybe.
Yeah, you're just like, fucking hell, I need help.
Yeah.
This seems to be working for some guys. I'll go.
I'll try it. Yeah. And I did. I tried it. Yeah, I had some results, but it was never really with girls that I wanted. So honestly, I probably could have said almost anything and it would have worked. So yeah, still pretty frustrated with dating and everything. And then eventually you came out with the TextGod mentoring program. And it was like right around COVID, or maybe just before, I think.
Yeah, it was before even, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I've done these 2 programs already. Like, should I do it? But I was like, all right, I'll try and see what happens. I guess this is going to be a funny story now as well, because when I first joined, I went through all the videos like immediately, because I wanted to get good at this. I was tired of having really shitty dating success. And so I went through, well, you know this, I went through all the videos and I was like, you know what? I think I already know all this stuff. And so then I emailed you and I was like, hey, Louis, I watched all the videos and I feel like I kind of know everything already, like what you put in here. Like, would it be possible to get a refund?
Yeah, because we have a refund policy.
Yeah.
If you're not happy and you're trying the stuff, I'll give you your money back. But if I recall correctly, you had already posted some of your convos in our group, and you had come to some calls, because I knew sort of how you were texting.
Yeah.
Man, this is so funny, guys, and I've given Justin so much shit for this, because the program back then was a fraction of the price from now.
Yeah.
We had just started.
True.
Now I know, like, I'm thoroughly convinced it's the best thing out there if you want to do online dating.
Hey, me too. Yeah. I'm convinced.
Yeah, but you weren't convinced back then. And this guy, who's now my fucking head coach, he wanted his money back. And I remember talking to you and I was like, hey, Justin, yeah, you say that you've seen everything in the videos, like you already know it. Mm-hmm. But if you already have quite a lot of dating knowledge and you've already seen so many videos, you're not going to get better by watching another video. You need to change your actual behavior. And I had seen some of your convos, and I remember all the little smileys in there and that underlaying nice guy vibe that was just shining through, and the neediness, it was just still in there.
The winky face.
Winky faces, but you also did shit tons of normal smileys, which, by the way, you still do more than any other guy, but you've made it work. You've got your own style.
I calibrate it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you, look, I can see where you're messing up, and we're not going to fix it in just a few weeks. I think I was pretty honest about it. But you could have your money back and leave. This shit isn't going to solve itself. You need someone who's better than you, cuffing humbly me, to look at your shit time and time again and slowly, bit by bit, adjust everything, how you think about these things, your mindset, your beliefs about yourself, and so on. And only then is it going to get better. And I remember telling you, let's try this for a month and reevaluate after a month. And if you still don't think it's good, I will give you your money back still.
I think you're actually even more generous than that. You're like, do the coaching at the end of it, like at the end of the 3 months. If you're not happy with it, sure, we can do the refund thing.
Fuck.
And I'm like, I mean, that's a no-brainer. There's no downside to me at all.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do that anymore now.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, we still have the money back guarantee and all, but do the fucking full thing and I'll put all my time in you. Yeah, we were just starting back then.
Yeah.
But long story short, you accepted, and I mean, the rest is history because you're here now. Yeah. This is 4 years ago or something.
Yeah, 4. I guess it might be 5.
Yeah, because it was
5.
Yeah, start of COVID. I guess you joined. Yeah, crazy. And I think that's just so funny. It's a lot of guys would sort of self-sabotage their success by not giving it the time. I also get it. You're skeptical. Your money's on the line. Is it going to work? And then in your case, you've tried this other coach and you've tried that other coach.
Yeah.
They couldn't fix it. So why the fuck could you? And that's also one of the reasons why I fucking hate that there are so many dating coaches.
Me too.
And these days, bro, every day there's a new one. And they're all good at TikToking and Instagramming and marketing. And they have reels with millions of followers. I have none. I do some video. And it's like, damn, they're just better at marketing than me.
Yeah.
And so they're getting a lot of clients. But it's a guy that watched Hormozy and now they have a business and they've been in the game for 2 years.
Yeah.
They haven't lived that life.
No, they don't know what
Fuck
real
'em.
success is.
But yeah, that's on me, honestly. I guess I should market better. Hey, we have a podcast.
Yeah, we're starting.
But yeah, so that's so awesome. And then, so that's like 4 or 5 years ago. You've been a part of it ever since. Eventually, you had shit tons of potential and you were picking up on all the things. You were getting better and better and better.
I was, but I had a lot of bad habits coming into
Well, a shit ton of bad habits.
So I was a slow case, but maybe not slow. I think I made up for my slowness by just spamming as many questions all the time. Every coaching call I would try to come to, and I would ask as many questions as possible, even when you're only allowed a couple. Yeah, even in the Facebook group, I would post all the time. And then, eventually, I started getting dates with women I was interested in. But then it was learning the in-person stuff.
Almost forgot about it.
Yeah. And so that was another thing with you and Jay at the time. I was like, hey, I've gone on this date. Here's kind of how it went. They don't want to see me again.
Yeah. Let's be real.
Yeah.
We fixed that online dating thing. We made you a nice profile. Your convos were going better. And you were scoring dates, a good amount of dates with beautiful women. But every single time.
I remember I went on 10 dates in a row with girls who I liked, and none of them wanted a second date with me. How soul crushing is that when you're like, okay, I'm good now, but not really.
I'm good on paper, not really. I'm good on pixel.
I'm a keyboard warrior.
Yeah. Brr, here's all the smooth lines. Look at my cool photos, and then you show up and they're like, ew, no thanks. Oh. Fuck, but it makes it even better that now you'd go on 10 dates in a row and all of them are like, hey, I'd like to see this guy again.
Yeah, it feels good.
Wow, you've done so much work. We still need to do some therapy though.
We'll see.
Yeah, because no matter how you twist or turn, all the stories that you've told, and then even just going on 10 dates in a row and none of them wanting a second date, it's somewhere deep down inside that you still remember.
Mm. Yeah, true.
And so it gnaws at you a little bit. Hey, I also think there's no shame in only starting that whole thing now. For me, it also started way too late. Mm-hmm. We just had a boot camp, 13 guys in a room, and I think I was really proud. I think about half of them had already done some sort of work. Some had been in therapy for years. Yeah. Some had started, whether it was types of meditation or whatever. And then half of them was like, hey, I've never done any of this, which probably is 90% of guys in the world, I would guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what happened? Then I got good at dating at some point. At some point it started to really click.
Yeah. What also helped is when I saw you just becoming better and better and better, and there was so much drive, you've always been super helpful to the community. So at one point we were like, hey, Justin, I think you have potential to be so good that you could coach it. Mm-hmm. And then you start shadowing my calls. Then you do your own calls, I'll shadow you. And then when we've done plenty of that and like, okay, you don't need the side wheels, or what do you call it?
Yeah, the training wheels.
The training wheels. Yeah. You started, and now you've done, I don't know, hundreds of coaching calls.
Yeah, I'm riding a fucking unicycle now.
Fuck yeah, there's not even any wheels on your thing. You're just floating. Yep. Floating on pure flow.
That's how smooth I am.
You're not floating, you're flowing with your dick out.
Well,
I don't
want that much air resistance. I don't think.
See, guys, he's actually smooth for a vegan. No, we're not gonna get into that. Yeah, wow, that is such an amazing journey, such an amazing origin story. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna get into the full thing now, but I had a very similar thing where my best friend took my crush of months. Oof. So I can relate with that whole thing.
Yeah. It hurts, man.
It hurts.
It's painful.
And we stayed best friends. And I couldn't blame him. Yeah, he was a cool guy when it came to dating. I wasn't. He had experience. I didn't. The girl wanted more. I wasn't able to offer it. He could, so I get it. But it's still incredibly painful. Especially since then every time I wanted to meet up with him, it's like, oh, I can't, I'm with Sarah. And then you do meet up with him and he's on cloud 9, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I had so little experience with everything. And so sometimes I would ask him a question like, I remember him telling me one day like, oh man, when she's here, sometimes we just kiss for hours straight. That's like everything I ever wanted, you know?
I'd throw up. I'd just throw up in his mouth.
Yo, good times. Hey, Justin, thanks for sharing this story. You know what we're going to do? We're going to stop this podcast. We're going to bust out another one straight away because there's so many cool success stories, so many...
Some fails too.
Fail stories, success stories, tips.
Or even just an example of using my text game to find out little secrets.
Wow, let's do that story. Yo, guys, thanks for listening. Justin, thanks for sharing these stories. Very vulnerable stories.
Yeah,
and everyone can hear them.
Happy to be here. Hope it helps anyone listening. Or even for some inspo if you want to get good.
Yeah, join our friggin' program.
Yeah, get good.
Don't be like Justin, just trust the process. Don't ask for your money back at the first sign of arrogance. I already knew this specific trick. Hey, you know how the podcast ends, right?
Yes, but now I've forgotten. It's you make a kissy sound.
You give the listener a juicy kiss. Sound. Go on then, show us what you've learned here, fuckboy. See, guys, that's a very, very respectful peck.
Straight seduction in public.